Saved by the hammer. Yeah. And again, this is the spot, like we mentioned before, this is like machine sweet spot. You sit on this side, you shoot over this ledge, you control this. It's so hard for the enemy team to interact with you, and you should get it. Sam holding this means that you should get the Rainmaker to this drop basically for free. Outside of certain specials, but especially against the comp that the yellow team has, you're getting big points off of this. So I'm okay with the Booyah Bomb here, but I want to see like the Booyah to be focused there and then ledge camping after. Looks like Brush flanked through from got around. But again, playing the ledge. Unfortunate with the trade, but team gets the wipe. Because if Sam doesn't trade here, Sam can also like get the kill on the knot and stuff. But this is exactly what you need to be doing. We don't know what we're getting ourselves into. We have to trust that we're getting some good gameplay. I know that Tetsuga is really good. I'm not super familiar with the other players, so I'm guessing this is solo queue. Oh. I stopped it on a flashbang. 40 minutes? That's not... We want to think about our comp and see kind of like how we fit into the landscape. So Double Wiper and the VDS, they have decent amount of paint, and if we're looking at paint versus paint from both teams, I definitely think Sam's team has like better paint. Wipers can do a good job of zoning out like the brush. Obviously it's a mirror between the other one, and Blaster is generally an easier matchup, but there are certain spots where Blaster, because of the height of bunkers and stuff, Blaster can be sometimes a pain. But I think in terms of like the mid-range and like a lot of these longer fights, either in mid or like on these plats or back in the street, I think that Sam's team has an advantage, and I think they have a lot of like tools. So I think this game, I'd probably imagine that Sam would want to be more focused on like getting under ledges, you know, like threatening bunker from here. You can't really get over to this left side without getting to this checkpoint, but especially holding this ledge, like this ledge right here is huge when they're actually going for a push. But I think ledge camping and having that kind of that value is going to be very strong, and I think that's kind of where Sam will fit in this comp. But we'll see how stuff goes. Oh, whoops. Hello. And also with the initial pop, this brush doesn't have a bomb, and they have 2 wipers, so I'm almost certain there's no instance where blue team should ever lose this pop. They could go for like, you know, just push Rainmaker forward, and then Rainmaker gets splatted, and then they haven't, like, they can continue the push with the like a pop after and get that consistently. So that's even something they could potentially look at if they need to like push to lead, or if they get a decent lead, they can like keep kind of pushing it. So yeah, they should get pop. Nice. No, I feel like I'd rather have Sam. I don't think it matters for first checkpoint, but I'd rather Sam go more aggressive forward. Yeah, they don't get the stop. So when we were talking before, I mentioned that Sam's role in this is going to be, oops, I didn't get back far enough. Sam's role is going to be to kind of play underneath ledges. Like they can shoot over bunker really well if they get into bunker. So if they get into bunker, they can like, so if they sit in bunker, they're able to shoot over in these areas, which is like if you don't have a weapon that can go over ledges, getting past the backside of bunker and actually scoring for the first checkpoint can be really hard to break. This is in all modes, but definitely for the first checkpoint and in Rainmaker. So if Sam picks up Rainmaker in this, the rest of these weapons don't have that ledge capability. I don't blame Sam in this spot for going for it because they're 2 down and it shouldn't really matter. The brush comes, they get the pick. like at this point, Sam can keep going forward and bully the rest of the people off of it's like I would have preferred to see Sam either go top bunker or just go to where this checkpoint is and launch shots, because you know that the rest of their team is going to be sitting behind this wall trying to stop Rainmaker. So you really want to try to like use the leverage of being able to launch over walls and get that value. So I would have preferred seeing that, just because the rest of their team's gonna have a hard time taking those fights directly. That's part of the reason why they get stalled and they don't get the first checkpoint. That's dangerous, but that's a bit of a skill check there. I think Booya's fine. He wasn't in like a great spot to play around it, but especially with the presence of the bubble, I can understand not wanting to get like ran over by the other team. So I think that's a totally valid use of Booya, and it allowed them to get mid control. Sheesh. Holy double. Yeah, in spots like this, if I'm Sam, I'm taking space. Nautilus can sit in bunker if they're not getting pressured out, and they have a really good angle on mid. So like the reason why we want to take space fast is so that we can get into position before the Nautilus is able to shoot us. Sam's weapon is the only weapon as a machine that can hit over ledges, and you need to really leverage that, and you have to just trust that the rest of your team's gonna like, you know, all the rest of their team can like pop Rainmaker totally fine, especially Wiper. Wiper does it really, really fast. And like the rest of them can take open fights and stuff. And on defense, Sam has done a good job with playing around ledges, but I want to see it more aggressively so that they can actually get past that first check. This is another way that you can approach getting to the ledges, because if you're sitting behind this cover, you can also kind of hit over. I'm okay with doing this because their team is pushing from the other side. So Sam's taking an off angle to hit those same spots, which the off angle is good, but if Sam was immediate taking space, then they could have been first to hit over this ledge, which I would have technically preferred, but this is a good adaptation. Rest of the team's coming in from left, so you take this off angle and you still have the same ability to control that ledge. Saved by the hammer. Yeah. And again, this is the spot, like we mentioned before, this is like machine sweet spot. You sit on this side, you shoot over this ledge, you control this. It's so hard for the enemy team to interact with you, and you should get it. Sam holding this means that you should get the Rainmaker to this drop basically for free, outside of certain specials, but especially against the comp that the yellow team has, you're getting big points off of this. So I'm okay with the Booyah Bomb here, but I want to see like the Booyah to be focused there and then ledge camping after. Looks like Brush flanked through from got around, but again, playing the ledge. Unfortunate with the trade, but team gets the wipe, because if Sam doesn't trade here, Sam can also like get the kill on the knot and stuff. But this is exactly what you need to be doing. I think Sam could be getting more shots in this spot, like especially with a teammate distracting. Sometimes it can be hard to know exactly where you need to shoot. But like realistically, when the enemy's coming off a spawn, they're either gonna come all the way from left, so they're either gonna go this way is like the default way, and this is that ledge that machine clears, or they come in from far left and they end up in the same spot, or they might come over here. But if I'm Sam, I would rather kind of tuck away a little bit more. I wouldn't really worry about the pop because A, it's not going to paint a ton, and B, you can't really do much with it. In order for us to get any more points, because we already got a really nice push all the way to 6, the only way that we get more points is to like keep control. When you have a big push like this and there's a lot of time, any time that you can leverage taking fights on the enemy side is really, really in your favor. because you're just basically trying to stall. If you wipe them, of course you can KO, but your goal is just to stall. You don't need any more points because like you're not really gonna get past 6. So you're not gonna look to play like scrappy and like try to move Rainmaker a little bit. You just want to focus on holding control, and when you have good positions, you want to make sure you're leveraging those positions. So, but holding this in general is like good. Uh-oh. Well, that hammer changes plans. Oh, double hammer. Oh no. I know that was the replay, but I need to like fix the replay and see what happened. Okay. They jumped on that corner. The double hammer is crazy. So Sam's able to definitely move forward. I think they can fight for bunker pretty well. But because their push is so far, if their team starts getting pushed back, you know, if the enemy team starts having a good push, because they already got 1 checkpoint. So like if Sam's team wipes, they potentially lose. At least getting back up to here is good. This is like a safe spot, but you're giving up a lot of space here. So you don't want to take this spot if you don't have to. But if the enemy team has control of your bunker already, I would much rather fight from up here than fight in this area. But they have enough space to where I'm fine with Sam's positioning here. Ooh. Nice play. Yeah, I wouldn't necessarily babysit Rainmaker like this. I'd want to get vision on the bunker and see what's going on. Just because there's so much that can happen and you have to trust your teammates so much on like the rest of the map, basically. What's happening in bunker, what's happening on the other side. And because you have a big push, even if someone kind of sneaks in, you still have a lot of time to react in order to stop them. But I'm glad they're aware of like Rainmaker and everything. Okay, this positioning is a lot better. I'm a lot more comfortable with this than just sitting on top of the Rainmaker. I like the use of this preemptive Booyah Bomb so that the rest of your team has something to like push in with. Because while you're not trying to like you don't need to play aggressive here, you still want to fight for space. At all points of the game, you're always fighting for space. And if you start holding your specials for too long, especially with 95 seconds left, if you hold your specials for too long, you're going to inevitably give up a bunch of space for free. Yeah, now we play aggressive, especially with the pick that we got. We can start looking to play off of what our teammate's doing in mid and take this off angle through the cut on left side. So there's so many hammer jump scares in this gameplay. It's actually funny. I'd be careful. I don't necessarily like this jump. They were kind of lucky to be able to make it out there. The reason? You don't need to use a 90. Yeah, that's fair. The reason why I don't like this jump is because they have a blaster. Like both blaster and not are like, if you bunch up with another teammate, they both can shred you very fast. So I'm okay continuing to take space, and like you definitely should. But Sam's done a really good job throughout this game of taking off angles. Like they're 2 down, the brush just spawned. These last 2 people are going to be locked in on wherever the Rainmaker is going. So Sam could totally just like, you know, path this way and hold this ledge, or path like over here and hold this ledge, and create more options potentially. So it was good for them to be able to escape, but this play with Blaster or Nautilus kind of stopping the Rainmaker and then pressuring you with a good chance of splatting you, this is a pretty predictable play. And this seemed like an autopilot going across cut because you don't need points. You want to look for strong positions. You want to fight for space, but you can play it a lot more selfish because you already have like a game-winning push, getting it to 6. And especially with only 15 seconds left, like Rainmaker's in a great spot. You have full control. There's really no way that you lose this game. I still like Sam being aggressive with positioning and not just sitting back completely. Like they're still fighting for this pop, because even if you go down, even if your team potentially wipes, which would be catastrophic and basically impossible with good players, But even if that was to happen, you still have plenty of time to protect the 6 push. So I like this aggressive fight for space. I like this pairing to get this pick, and you know, we'll see how the blaster play goes after. Just running around. Alright. Oh. This is scary. So this is effectively the wipe that we mentioned, but again, if I'm Sam, I'm going up to elbow. I'm sitting here, and then we'll figure out what to do. We don't have specials, so we don't have like a GG play in mind, but we can kind of chill. I really like taking this off angle because they have a blaster, and blaster can hit over ledges the same way that machine can. It's a little bit different, but effectively it's the same thing. So blaster for sure is going to be focusing on elbow once they start getting picks and can start moving forward. So taking the off angle here is a better chance to get the jump on them. And if the Rainmaker potentially paths toward us, we can get a you know, gimmicky stop. So I love this, you know, I probably would have taken a more vanilla route and just gone up to elbow, but this is a much better play. I like this. We'll see how Sam plays it, but this is awesome. Yeah, and you saw the, like, Blaster was looking for that type of play. They kind of panicked a little bit and just threw a bubble down for their teammate, but awesome. Very, very in control. I want aggressive positioning and space taking. So take space. This is very specifically callouts at the early part of the game. Like when they get the initial pop, especially when they get a player advantage, which they think they had the 4v2 in a couple of spots. The first time Sam picked up the Rainmaker, and I'll say weapon specialty, basically. And the fact that machine can go over ledges, and for their team comp, if there was 2 machines, then I'm less worried about Sam picking up. But the fact that Sam's the only one that can go over ledges cleanly, again, torpedoes do kind of, but you're taking a lot of pressure off the table when you're the one picking up the Rainmaker. Whereas if you have VDS, for example, pick up Rainmaker, or machine, depending on, but probably VDS would probably pick it up. Now you have Rainmaker, which can go over walls, and you have machine, and you can pressure those double as hard. But machine does it a little bit better than Rainmaker, but they're both like really, really good pressure. And plus Sam was a little bit farther forward, so I immediately want them to take space and either push for bunker and take control of bunker, or push up this ramp, start taking control of this ramp. I think there was plenty of room where Sam could have solo carried, especially the first checkpoint of Rainmaker where they struggled a little bit early on. So when they pushed to 6, and I would consider 6 a game-winning push in this game, because like that's pretty close to a KO. But the other one was when Sam was sitting over here. This was right immediately after the 6 push, but the Rainmaker was on this mast. There was a little bit of a pattern there of not focusing on the bigger picture and focusing on moving, like optimizing extra points and squeezing extra points out of Rainmaker pushes when you already have a big lead, and you don't need to do that. Honestly, I think that's it. Number 1 is definitely like the bigger thing. But I really like what Sam did. Sam's defensive positioning was really good. And I will get this posted at some point so Sam sees it, hopefully. That was awesome.